Now, a lot of people may not like hearing this, but I thought what WWE did with Roman Reigns last Monday was incredibly smart. And if their goal is to lessen the backlash and get the crowds to react more favorably when he's in the ring, at least for one night anyway, in Brooklyn, in the Lions Den, it worked. Now, I'm not saying he didn't get booed out of the building when he first came out, because he did. And you're not going to get the crowds to stop booing him. That's just not going to happen. What I'm saying, though, is what you don't want, I'm sure if you're WWE, what you don't want are fans to just hijack all of his matches and to, divert attention from what's going on in the ring and to just constantly rain boos down upon him from the moment he walks out to the moment he walks to the back. In different cities, you're going to get different reactions, right? But I'm sure that they're coming up with some sort of battle plan here, because they just do what they do best. And what WWE does best, they fight against the fans. They fight against the current, the wave is going in this direction. No, we want to go this way. And so we'll fight against the wave. And they do this all the time. They're doing it with Becky Lynch to some degree right now on SmackDown. So put yourself in WWE's shoes for a second here. You've made your mind up. You're not turning this guy heel. He sells a lot of merch. He's our guy. We've invested too much time into trying to get him over as the top babyface. He is what he is. Okay, now they finally put the championship on him. Vince got what he wanted. What do you do now? You've got to have a game plan. You can't expect this guy to just go out there every week and the people are just going to warm to him and they're going to stop booing and be cheering everything he does and says, because that's just not going to happen. So what did they do at the beginning of the show on Monday? Yes, he came out and he got booed, but the first thing he does, he talks about how, unlike Brock Lesnar, I'm going to be a fighting champion. I'm going to defend my title. And the very first person I'm going to defend my title against is Finn Balor, a fan favorite who the fans agree never did get his rightful rematch for the championship. He got hurt, he had to give it up, and he never really formally got the rematch that he should have gotten. That's the first thing Roman Reigns has said in forever, where the fans erupted into cheers. They actually cheered when he announced Finn Balor as being his opponent. They roared with approval. Even if, in this backwards logic here, even if it was only because they wanted to see Balor beat him and take the championship. But booking that match on that night in that city was smart. You don't have to like what they're doing with Roman Reigns, but it was smart. And it helped make for an excellent main event. I mean, it is pretty stupid that Balor had to call in the Demon, I think, in order to beat Baron Corbin, of all people, at SummerSlam. Yet, when he is gifted a championship match that he's been waiting 2 years for the very next night, that apparently is not enough to get the Demon to come back out. But that little fact aside, this was a pretty exciting match because the crowd badly wanted to see Balor win that championship. So they were hanging on to every near fall. There were no boring chants. There were no waves. There were no beach balls, at least that I could see. They were invested in the match. It was smart. And then came the finish. Roman Reigns is setting up for the spear when Braun Strowman's music hits. He marches down to the ring. He's got his Money in the Bank briefcase. This distracts Roman Reigns. This allows Finn Balor to hit a sling blade and a drop kick. Roman, though, rolls out of the way. When Balor goes for the coup de grace, he hits the spear and gets the pin. Strowman immediately gets into the ring. So much for not wanting to cash in like a coward. I mean, I get the fact that he had told Roman he was planning to cash in, but still, the guy just got done wrestling a 20-minute match and can barely have a second to catch his breath. In comes Braun Strowman. And he boots Roman in the gut. Place goes nuts. He hands the briefcase over to the referee. People are just losing their shit for this. And before the bell can ring, we hear the Shield's theme song. And not Roman's theme song, by the way. This was the original Shield theme. They play the Shield music, and out comes Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose dressed in their old Shield riot gear, or at least Rollins was. I think Ambrose was just wearing a black shirt. But the Barclays Center went nuts for this. A, because they like the Shield. I mean, we don't have to really think too hard about this. They just like the Shield. And B, because they didn't see it coming. It is very rare that WWE pulls something off like this without anybody knowing about it, or at least somebody pitching the idea, hey, this might happen. I don't know about you, But I certainly didn't see any reputable people talking about the Shield being reunited the next night as being any sort of realistic possibility. The thought never even crossed my mind. And, they all come out and they attack Braun Strowman. There were some boos when they initially attacked Strowman, but nothing overwhelming. It's not like, oh my God, they're booing the Shield. They're heels now. No, they were, for the most part, they were cheering the Shield like crazy. They were cheering them like babyfaces. Braun fought back, but Roman speared him on the outside, and they gave him the old triple power bomb through the announce desk to end the show. And they did the whole Shield fist pump. Now, I see a lot of hate for this, mainly because, people are very upset that they only did this to get Roman Reigns cheered. How can you not see this? This is disgusting. They're only doing it for Roman. First of all, we don't know yet that there is not some other reason for this as well. Like, for example, what I'm hoping for, which is that Dean Ambrose is eventually going to turn on both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Instead of him just turning on Seth, he could turn on both of them. I'm hopeful that it will happen. But yes, you are absolutely right. Make no mistake about it. WWE has once again built a shield. Just as they did last fall, they have built a shield to protect Roman Reigns. That is what they did here. That is the main reason they are doing this. And you know what? It just might work. I mean, Reigns is their champion now. He's their chosen one. Whether you or I like it or not, that's the way it is. So if you're WWE, you've got to come up with creative ways to manipulate the crowd and get the desired reaction that you're looking for when this guy is out there. He's never going to be fully embraced by everybody. That just is not going to happen. But I'll tell you this much, Roman Reigns and his history has never been more over in his career with these crowds than when he has been with the Shield. When he has been with his Shield buddies. They know that. They know that reuniting the Shield is like catnip for these crowds. And no, this doesn't make them heels for all those who I've seen asking that question. They would not turn Reigns and Rollins and Ambrose all at the same time, or at least 2 out of the 3. I guess they were already booing Reigns. But they're not turning Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose heel at the same time here. I mean, I know they got Braun, but they don't have that many baby faces. That would be very stupid for them to do that. So I didn't see this as a heel turn at all. I don't know why people would really think that this is what WWE had in mind with this. And it does make sense storyline-wise, too, in this way. I'll help explain this, since Michael Cole was too preoccupied with telling us that we were watching a Raw moment. This is a moment, people. That's what they love to do now. Instead of just letting the moments play out, they have to tell us. Because we're too fucking stupid to realize that what we're seeing is, hey, this is pretty cool. Oh, it's a moment. So while he was busy telling us this is a Raw moment, and oh my, and the big dog, and all the other garbage that they had feeding him on Monday night, whatever other verbal erection he was having, I'll do his job for him. Let me explain this. Why was the Shield formed in the first place all those years ago? Storyline-wise, what was the explanation that they gave for why they came together as a unit, right? To fight against injustice. Right? They reunited last year, and it ended, not because someone turned on someone or they had a falling out. It ended because of injury. Well, now Dean Ambrose is all healed up, and they see their brother is about to have his title stripped away from him after this long, grueling battle that he just had with Finn Balor. It's not right. In their eyes, this is an injustice. They're doing wrong by him. They're sticking up for their brother in arms because that's just what they do. The Shield is always together. We may just not see it on TV until something happens. Where they need to sort of back each other up. But that's really all the explanation storyline-wise, and we'll see if they do this tomorrow night. But that really, storyline-wise, is the only explanation that you need to give for what we saw last week. I am hopeful that this is not just a case where, Rollins and Ambrose are going to be weakened because they're just going to be lackeys for Roman Reigns. I don't think that's the case here. And if that's what happens, then boy, yeah, believe me, I'll have a lot to say about that. I don't see them being lackeys for Roman Reigns. I don't think that's the way they would position them, and I hope not, because Ambrose is very popular, but Rollins, again, you could have gone with Rollins instead of Reigns in that role, and I think people would have accepted him a lot more than Roman. I don't want to see them squander all that great goodwill that Rollins has, built up with the audience now for much of this year. But I am hopeful that whether it takes a month, whether it takes 3 months or 6 months, in the end, Dean Ambrose is going to be the one who makes the turn.